Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I'm Sean Pinard, your host, and today we're going to open this M15 booster pack and evaluate the cards inside. I am so excited because this month I've been doing a draft every day, either a real draft on Mondays or going to bestiaire.org and doing a practice draft. So I'm excited to bring that knowledge and experience to you as we open this pack. Let's dive on in and see what we get. Okay, so the first thing I always do is I take out the marketing card. I take out the land, and then I look at the rare. Dun, 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 dun. Obnixilis Unshackled. Alright, I like this guy. He is a 4/4 flying trample for 6 mana, and when an opponent searches his or her library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. That is not very relevant in Limited because there are not a lot of opportunities to search your library. One that comes to mind is Boonweaver Giant, but other than that, I can't really think of much else. However, when another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Obnixilis. So, what I'm looking to do is, if I draft Obnixilis, is to play him and then look for ways to do direct damage. I like to pair him with red because you can do things like Lightning Strike, deal direct damage to your opponent's creature, kill it, and then Obnixilis gets bigger. I also want to look for ways to get him back from the graveyard in case they do some kind of shenanigans. If he gets exiled, there's not much you can do about that, so watch out for Pillar of Light and Devouring Light. So, I like Obnixilis, I like Lightning Strike. Kinsbale Skirmisher is good. In your white deck, it's really nice to kind of add a little. So first off, he's a bear. A bear is a 2/2 creature for 2 mana, and bears are always good and limited. You need 2 drops, and a 2/2 is a good way to go. Now, on top of that, he has an ability, which is nice. When he enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. He can target himself. If he doesn't have haste, he can't attack, but you could target another creature, so that's nice. Aeronaut Tinker is also nice. 2/3 for 3 are good. Those hold down the fort. They stop those bears. This one has the added ability of having flying if you have a artifact. So this is also a good card. Forge Devil I also like. So far this pack is all upside. It's 1/1s for 1 are usually not good. Alright? A 1 mana creature that is a 1/1 is usually not good. So they have to have some kind of ability to make them relevant. Forge Devil is relevant because there are so many creatures that do have 1 toughness. For example, Orisco Swiftclaw, or Spirit Tokens, or Geist of the Moors, or Welkin Turn. There are so many creatures that have 1 toughness that Forge Devil is definitely worth playing in a red deck. Accursed Spirit has Intimidate. I went 2-1 in the draft I did on last Monday, and the one round that I lost was because my opponent was playing black and they had Accursed Spirit, and I did not have any black creatures or artifact creatures. So do not overlook Accursed Spirit. If you're going in black, it's great to have. If you're not in black, you might want to consider getting at least 1 artifact creature to put a stop to Accursed Spirit, because that seriously is why I lost. We went 1-1, and then he won the 3rd game, and both games that he won was because of Accursed Spirit. Vine Weft, the first dud in this pack. I don't really like it. It's yeah, it's a 1/1. It gives your creature +1/+1 for 1 mana, and then you can get it back for 5. But for 1 mana, I mean, the worst part is it takes up a slot in your deck. So pass it up. Invasive Species, I did play this in my last draft, my last real draft. I kind of like Invasive Species. It's a 3/3 for 3. So 3/3 for 3s are nice. Like, you know, if a 2/3 for 3 is playable, then a 3/3 for 3 definitely is playable. But this one does have a drawback, alright? So a 3/3 for 3 like Centaur, like Nessian Centaurs, like that's really good. Because there's no drawback to it. It's just a vanilla 3/3. That's great. This does have a drawback. You have to return another target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Now, that could be a land, that could be another creature, just any other target permanent. Could be an artifact, so you do have to return something. It's not always a drawback. You could return, like, Shaman of Spring, or a tap land, and then play the land again. You know, something like that. But just keep that in mind. It's not bad, you just have to account for the drawback. Mind Rot I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, it's nice to surprise your opponent and get him when he has 2 cards in hand, and now you don't have to worry about it. It's always nice when your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand, because you know he has no tricks up his sleeve. But I'm not going to main deck Mind Rot. Radiant Fountain I will pass because it messes up your mana base. Alright, getting 2 life is not worth screwing up your mana base. You want to have a nice proportion of the 2 colors that you're in. If you're splashing a 3rd color, you definitely don't want a colorless land. So I'll pass on this. Seder Wayfinder I've actually gotten more fond of. I used to be like, nah, not for me. But he's actually gotten better and better in my eyes because he helps you hit that land drop. If you're choking on 3, 4, even on 5 lands, you're trying to get your sixth land, Seder Wayfinder is really good. Just be careful. I made a huge mistake in the last time I played, where I was playing mostly green and then a little bit of white. I had 1 plains on the board. I did a Seder Wayfinder. I hit a plains and a forest, and I took the forest because I was trying to set up for my Colonian Twin Grove. I should have taken the plains because it took me like 3 or 4 more turns before I could cast my Devouring Light, which cost 2 white. So I should have just taken the plains. So just be mindful of what you're taking when you play it, but it's still a great card. Gargoyle Sentinel. This is a really good artifact to have to block those accursed spirits. He will die if you do block the accursed spirit, but at least you get to block it, right? He has Defender, and for 3 mana he can lose Defender and gain Flying. Heat Ray is nice because it is a direct damage spell that scales with the game. So late game, when creatures are bigger and you have more mana, this does more damage. Early game, when you have less mana, it does less damage, but the creatures tend to be smaller. So it's not bad. I like Heat Ray. And Battle Mastery does not give your creature any power and toughness, but it does give it Double Strike, which is kind of like giving it extra power because it gets to do damage in that first strike round. So that's nice. I'm not going to first pick it though. So definitely, let's see, my top picks here are Heat Ray is nice, but I'm not going to first pick it. Seder Wayfinder is good, Mace of Species is good, Accursed Spirit, Forged Devil, Aeronaut, King. Okay, so the first pickables are Ob Nixilis and Lightning Strike. If Ob Nixilis was not in this pack, I would probably take either Heat Ray or Lightning Strike. Heat Ray just because it's an uncommon, and I still kind of weight uncommons higher than commons just because you won't see them that often, right? Like if I take Heat Ray, that's probably going to be one of 2, if not the only Heat Ray in the draft, but Lightning Strike you potentially can see more of. So I'm going to take Ob Nixilis on this one. I'm going to hope that some of these red cards wheel around, and I'm going to look. I really would like to be red-black. I'm going to look for Generator Servants so I can get him out early, and then maybe some ways to draw cards, which red doesn't really have a lot of, but black does. You can get a Sign in Blood. So that's kind of my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Would you first pick Ob Nixilis? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. You are awesome for taking the time to do so. I'm Sean Penrod, and we'll see you in the next pack.